a contractor in Colorado, and up until a few days ago, I thought I had it all figured out. A fiancé I adored, a business I built from nothing, and a wedding coming up that I was hemorrhaging money on like I was some kind of royal. Life was supposed to be perfect. Spoiler, it isn't. Emma, my fiancée of 3 years, the so-called woman of my dreams, decided to casually confess she's pregnant. And not with my kid. Nope. Turns out she's carrying my business partner Hunter's baby. Yeah. Let that one marinate. When she first sat me down, eyes puffy, face red like she'd been binge crying through a Netflix drama, she opened with, "Victor, we need to talk. I'm pregnant." Now, like the absolute idiot I am, I lit up like a Christmas tree. "Wow, honey, that's amazing. We'll figure it out." Cue Hunter looking at me like a man about to admit he just backed into my brand new truck. He clears his throat. "Victor, it's mine, brother. I'm so sorry." Sorry? That's what he went with? Not even a "please don't kill me"? The next 10 minutes were a bad sitcom. Hunter babbling about how they couldn't help it, Emma crying and wailing, "I love you, Victor. I'm just so confused right now. I don't know what I want." Oh, and then they dropped the punchline. "Emma, maybe we could take a break from the engagement but keep living together while I figure out my feelings?" Hunter, "Yeah man, we can make this work. We're still brothers and the business is too important to ruin over personal matters." Personal matters. That's what they're calling 4 months of sneaking around behind my back. A little oopsie in the category of personal matters. I asked how long this had been going on. Hunter, suddenly audit-victoring for the role of Honest Abe, says, "About 4 months." Right. So while I was busting my ass 12 hours a day, they were networking after hours. And based on the pregnancy timeline, it all kicked off right after Christmas. Merry freaking Christmas to me. While I was working overtime to pay for the wedding in the house, they were making their own little Hallmark holiday special. I told them both to get the hell out. Immediately. Emma sobbed, "But where am I supposed to go? This is my home too." "Not my problem," I snapped. "Call Hunter. He's great at providing, apparently." Hunter tried one last speech, something about brotherhood, and the business being bigger than this. I almost laughed. "Bigger than this? Buddy, you impregnated my fiancé. You don't get to throw around TED Talk buzzwords anymore." So I left. Packed nothing, just stormed out. I've been at my buddy Diego's place for 3 days. He's a plumber, works with my team sometimes, and has the world's worst sense of humor. Every time I start pacing like I'm about to punch drywall, he goes, "Hey man, at least now you know she likes guys who lay pipe." Real comedian, that one. But honestly, better than me putting a hole through his wall. Meanwhile, the nightmare keeps unspooling. Hunter and I have over $2 mil Victor in active contracts. He owns 35% of the company, which means he has legal rights. If I just cut him loose, he can sue me. And our biggest client specifically asked for Hunter on their account. So yeah, I can't even torch him without lighting my own house on fire. Emma hasn't stopped texting since I left. "It's all, we can still be a family. I never meant to hurt you." Right. Classic line. I'm sure Maury hears it daily. Hunter, meanwhile, sends me a novella about how our friendship and business are too important to ruin over, wait for it, personal matters. The audacity. At least the house is in my name, thank God. But since Emma's been living there 2 years, she probably has tenant rights. Which means legally I can't just kick her to the curb. She's squatting in the house I pay for, surrounded by furniture I bought, probably sipping wine from glasses I paid for, while texting me about how she still loves me. Oh, and the wedding venue? They want another $18,000 in 30 days or I lose all deposits. The ring? Custom made, non-refundable. Yeah. It's like the universe saw me doing okay and said, "Time for chaos." My lawyer buddy warned me to tread carefully. Hunter's entitled to his share of every current contract. Emma might try to stake a claim as a tenant. Basically, every way out feels like stepping into another trap. So here I am, crashing at Diego's, trying not to drink myself into a stupor, while my phone lights up with messages from the 2 people who torched my life. I blocked Emma. I can't go home without seeing her crap everywhere and remembering everything she ruined. I can't go to work without seeing Hunter's smug face. I can't cancel the wedding without losing a small fortune. I can't fire Hunter without risking my entire business. Congratulate Victors to me, I've achieved the trifecta of screwed. The 2 people I trusted most just detonated my life, and now they expect me to sit at the table and play nice so everyone feels comfortable. Comfortable? The guy knocked up my fiancé. He can buy his own beanbag chair. I asked myself, has anyone actually dealt with something this insane? Like, Is there a manual for fiancé sleeps with business partner while you're funding a $35,000 wedding disaster? Because I could use that manual right about now. Update 1. Things got spicy. You all told me to lawyer up and you were right. I spent a week combing through every document, contract and receipt I could find. I felt like Nicolas Cage in Nat Victoral Treasure, except instead of finding gold, I found out my partner's been bleeding the company dry. First off, thank you for the support. Diego, my plumber buddy, has been reading your comments out loud to keep me sane. And let me tell you, his impress Victor of Emma's texts is Oscar-worthy. He does this high-pitched, whiny voice. Victor, I just wanted security for my future. Then he pauses and adds in his normal voice, Translate Victor, she saw the bank account growing and thought jackpot. Honestly? Diego might not be wrong. His theory is that Emma thought Hunter would swoop in, take over the business and crown her queen of a construct Victor empire. If so, she backed the wrong horse because Hunter's more donkey than stall Victor. Anyway, I paid a real lawyer $500 for a consulted Victor. Best $500 I've ever spent. Turns out Hunter may have made a big, beautiful, lawsuit-worthy mistake. See, he was handling clients, right? Well, the bank statements showed client dinners that looked suspiciously like dates with a filet mignon chaser, golf outings, luxury tabs, and, my personal favorite, a networking trip to Las Vegas. $23,000 of business funds gone, just so Hunter could play Bachelor of the Year. But wait, it gets better. Hunter's been introducing himself as the main partner. To clients. To people I brought in. I found notes and emails where he's calling me, the Awkward Victor's guy. The Awkward Victor's guy. I own 65% of this company, and somehow in Hunter's vs. Victor, I'm the janitor. My lawyer smiled and said the magic words, breach of fiduciary duty. Misrepresented Victor. Translate Victor, I can kick Hunter out. Not only that, I can buy his shares at the value they were worth before the current contracts. Around $5,000. $5,000 versus the $200,000 they'd be worth today. Congratulate Victor's Hunter, you're about to be bought out for the price of a used Honda Civic. Meanwhile, Emma's escalated from apologies to demands. At first it was, I never wanted to hurt you. Then it became, we need to talk like adults. Last night she texted, I'm pregnant and stressed. The least you can do is make sure I have a safe place to stay. Diego read that one out loud, then added, and maybe buy me a little pregnancy gift since I'm carrying a precious package. He nearly fell off the couch laughing. I nearly put my fist through the drywall. So, I gave Emma a formal 30-day evict Victor notice. Change the locks. She can pick up her stuff with 24 hours, notice and a police escort. When she saw it, her head practically spun like something out of The Exorcist. Hunter of course tried to corner me at the office. Victor, man, we need to fix this like men. I'll do whatever it takes. I looked him dead in the eye and said, great. Have your lawyer call mine. You should have seen his face. Like a toddler who just realized Chuck E. Cheese doesn't take Monopoly money. Apparently, he thought he could knock up my fiancé, skim company funds, and still walk away with 35% of my business. Here's where it gets fun. I called our biggest client, the $1.20 mil Victor Renovat Victor, and explained the Situate Victor Profus Victorly. Told them Hunter was out due to ethical violet Victors. Asked if they wanted me to handle things personally. Their response? Thank God. Hunter always seemed unprofessed Victoral. We only worked with him because we thought you endorsed his style. Music to my ears. Turns out, 3 other clients said the same thing. His so-called smooth talk made people uncomfortable, but they tolerated it because they wanted my company's work. So now I'm restructuring, promoting my foreman Mike to project manager, hiring a real accountant, and cutting Hunter out completely. My lawyer says the fraud angle could void Hunter's partnership share entirely, but buying him out is quicker. Either way, he's done. As for Emma, she actually showed up at Diego's house 2 nights ago. Knocked on the door crying. Diego opened it, looked her dead in the face and said, Victor's not available, but you can leave a message with my secretary. Then he pointed to his dog. She was not amused. Now she's claiming she needs $3,000 for pregnancy expenses. Says as the father, I have obligat Victors. Excuse me? I've always been careful with contracept Victor. She knows that. She just assumes I'll roll over and pay up without demanding a paternity test. My lawyer says to document everything. If she takes money while claiming I'm the father, that's fraud. And I will happily watch her try to explain that in court. Meanwhile, Hunter's sending me Shakespeare-length texts. I'm man enough to take responsibility for Emma and the baby, but I hope we can still maintain our Profus Victoral Relat Victorship. Unbelievable. This man really thinks he can have it all, knock up my fiancée, steal my clients and still profit from the company I built. The audacity is absolutely incredible. Diego has been documenting everything like he's David Attenborough narrating a wildlife special. He keeps saying, "This will be the best revenge story ever told. You're going to write a book, Victor. A bestseller. Netflix will come knocking." Honestly, he's not wrong. It's pure chaos and I've got front row seats to my own life imploding. The countdown is on. 30 days until Emma is officially evicted. 45 days until Hunter's partnership is dissolved. 60 days until maybe, just maybe, I can have a normal life again. Right now, it feels like I'm starring in a soap opera directed by Satan. And then, update 2, these two lunatics decided to go nuclear. Out of spite. Oh my god, you guys. They are way more vengeful than I ever gave them credit for. The masks are off, and now I'm in an all-out war against my business and my reputed Victor. Diego has officially renamed the opera Victor. Dumpster fire. He walks around my house narrating like it's a nature documentary. Here we observe the gold digger in her natural habitat, frantically texting her meal ticket after realizing the gravy train has completely derailed. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my coffee. Emma's 30-day notice expired last week. Did she leave voluntarily? Of course not. That would have been too easy. Instead, I had to start a formal evict Victor in court. But before it even got that far, she went full scorched earth. She cleaned me out. Everything not nailed down, gone. My 65-inch TV? Gone. My surround sound system? Gone. Tools from my garage? Gone. Even my grandmother's jewelry from the safe. About $5,000 worth of stuff just evaporated. I called the police expecting at least some justice. Their response? "Sir, she's lived there for 2 years. It's a civil matter. Take it up in court." Great. Apparently, stealing is perfectly legal if you've also been eating my food and hogging my Wi-Fi. Emma claims it was all gifts or shared property. Sure, because I definitely gifted her my power drill set and grandma's necklace. But the theft was just the warm-up act. Emma and Hunter then went full PR offensive. They started calling my clients directly, spreading rumors that I'm having a mental breakdown, and making dangerous decis Victors on job sites. One client told me, "Hunter said you've been acting erratic. Is everything okay?" I said, "Well, considering my fiancée is pregnant with my business partner's baby, and they're actively trying to ruin me, I'd say I'm doing great. Thanks for asking." I lost 2 smaller contracts worth $45,000 because the clients got spooked. My biggest commercial client put a $1.2 million project on hold until they know my company won't implode. I was furious. But my lawyer just smiled and said, "Congratulate Victors. You now have a textbook defamate Victor case. Everything is in emails and recorded calls. And Colorado is a one-party consent state, which means I've been recording away like an amateur spy. The best part? Hunter has been making these sabotage calls on the company phones. Yes, the phones I pay for. The man is leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for investigators like he's Hansel and Gretel." Diego's commentary: "You should honestly thank them for being this stupid. Most criminals at least try to cover their tracks. These two are handing you evidence gift-wrapped." Meanwhile, Emma ramped up her social media campaign. She posted on Facebook that I abandoned her during pregnancy and made her homeless. Cue the angry mob of her friends and family blowing up my phone. Her mom even called me crying, "You are destroying an innocent woman's life. How could you be so heartless?" I calmly replied, "Ask Emma about the $5,000 in stolen property." Click. End of call. Hunter, of course, is even worse. He's going around saying I'm stealing his clients and claiming he built the business while I was just the guy swinging a hammer. Then he posted on LinkedIn that he's starting his own company and invited our clients to join him. What Hunter apparently forgot is that our partnership agreement has a strict non-compete clause. He cannot touch our clients for 18 months after dissolute Victor. My lawyer is already drafting a cease and desist that's going to land on his desk like a guillotine. And then there's Emma again. Because of course. She now claims her morning sickness is so severe she needs $200 a week for medical expenses. She also insists a stress-free environment is vital for the baby's health, and that evicting her could cause developmental harm. I said, "Ask Hunter for that money. It's his kid, his problem." Her response? "Maybe we should do a DNA test after the baby is born to be absolutely sure who the father is." Even Diego was stunned. He looked at me and said, "Bro, she's literally trying to keep multiple men financially hooked at the same time. That's not scheming. That's evil genius level manipulate Victor. But karma, my dear friends, is a swift beast. Hunter has been bragging everywhere that he's going to take over my business. Problem? The man has no idea how to actually run Operate Victor's. I got a call from one of his potential clients. Client? Hey, we just had our permit applicant Victor's rejected by the city. Hunter said you guys would handle it. What's going on? Me? Well, what's going on is Hunter promised you a project that doesn't comply with local building codes. Also, fun fact, he's not licensed to apply for permits in Colorado. Only I am. The client's voice dropped several octaves. So, he sold us something he can't legally deliver? Me, bingo. And that, my friend, is called fraud and misrepresented Victor. Hunter finally panicked. He actually called me begging for help with his permit mess. Bro, you've got to bail me out here. I can't get these projects approved. I told him, solve your own problems, genius. You wanted to play CEO? Congrats, now enjoy the paperwork. And the cherry on top? 3 of his own clients called me directly asking if I could take over their projects because, shocker, Hunter doesn't know a damn thing about Construct Victor. One guy said, he looks confused every time we ask about Founded Victor work. I said, yeah, because his idea of manual labor is carrying a golf bag. Meanwhile, Emma's Evict Victor hearing happened this week, and it was glorious. Her lawyer, apparently funded by mommy and daddy, tried to claim common law marriage rights, and asked for temporary spousal support. My lawyer laughed so hard I thought he was going to choke. He literally wiped tears from his eyes and said, Counsel, Colorado doesn't even recognize common law marriage anymore. And newsflash, they weren't married. Emma sat there looking like someone had just told her Starbucks was out of pumpkin spice lattes. She has 0 rights to my property or income, but you'd never know it by the way she carries on. And then she tried to keep the engagement ring. A $22,000 custom piece I designed. Her story? It wasn't an engagement ring, it was just a promise ring he gave me because he loved me. Oh honey, I have the receipt. I have the design specs. And best of all, I have about 50 pictures of her blasting that ring all over Instagram with Cap Victors like, I said yes. She literally tagged it #engaged. That's going to look amazing in court. Diego, of course, decided to turn this whole nightmare into a betting pool. He's got odds running on what their next stunt will be. Current bets. Emma asks me for baby furniture money, Hunter tries to poach my employees with promises he can't keep. My money's on both. Speaking of employees, my team thinks this is hilarious. Mike looked me dead in the eye and said, Boss, we always knew Hunter was a snake. We just didn't think he'd be dumb enough to bite the hand that feeds him. We've got 28 days until the partnership is officially dissolved. Then the fun really begins. Or so I thought. Because, update 3, they tried to frame me for assault. Big mistake. Huge. Diego calls this chapter When Idiots Attack. Apparently Hunter and Emma decided to get creative with their revenge attempts. Spoiler, it backfired harder than a cheap firework. Last Tuesday, I went to my house for a final inspect Victor before Emma's court-ordered move-out date. I brought Mike as a witness because my lawyer told me, never be alone with Emma. Ever. Unless you want a lifetime subscript Victor to false accused Victors monthly. Sure enough, I walk in and who's there? Hunter. In my house. Emma chirps up, I invited him to help me pack my things. I said, you have 5 minutes. Grab your junk and get out. Forever. Hunter puffed up like a cartoon rooster. You can't tell me what to do. I have rights as the father of this baby. Then he shoved me. Art. Now I'm 6 feet 2 inches, 6 years of swinging hammers for a living. Hunter's 5 feet 9 inches and the heaviest thing he's ever lifted is a 9 iron. But I didn't move a muscle. Mike was already recording. Hunter shoved me again even harder. Then Emma went full Broadway actress screaming, he's attacking Hunter. Somebody help us. Here's the beautiful part. Mike's video shows everything. Me hands at my sides calm as a monk. Hunter shoving me like a toddler throwing a tantrum. Emma, literally mot-victoring for Hunter to defend himself, against air. It's comedic gold. But they didn't know about the video. 20 minutes later the police show up at my office. Hunter had filed assault charges, claiming I attacked him and Emma witnessed it. The officer looked very official, until I showed him Mike's video. Poof. Hunter's story disintegrated like cheap tissue paper. Not only had he lied to the police, which is a crime, but the video clearly showed him assaulting me while Emma tried to back up the false report. Diego nearly cried laughing when I told him. Bro, they literally tried to frame you and ended up recording themselves committing crimes. This isn't real life. This is Looney Tunes. The officer asked if I wanted to press charges. I said, absolutely. Please gift wrap them a court date. Hunter was arrested that night for assault and filing a false report. Emma was charged with filing a false report and conspiracy. Jail time, permanent records, the works. And it gets better. While Hunter was in cuffs, I had my accountant freeze all company assets pending dissolution at Victor. That's when we discovered he owed the company $31,000 in unauthorized expenses. He'd been treating the company card like his personal piggy bank, paying for Emma's yoga membership, fancy dinners, even a weekend in Aspen. His networking apparently involved champagne and ski passes. Basically, he financed his entire affair with my fiancée using my credit. Emma's evict Victor hearing? Oh, you'll love this. Her lawyer tried to argue she was too traumatized by my false assault alleged Victors to attend. The judge asked for proof. Her lawyer sheepishly admitted the charges were dropped because of new evidence. The judge, what kind of evidence? Me, the kind where Hunter got arrested for assaulting me and Emma was charged for lying about it. The judge was not amused. Ordered immediate evict Victor. Emma had 48 hours to get out or everything left behind would be legally considered trash. Emma's parents showed up to help. Her dad actually apologized to me. Said, we had no idea how far she had fallen. We're ashamed. Her mom, though, tried to haggle over keeping some of the expensive items Emma had stolen. I told her, either it all comes back or I press theft charges. Your choice. Most of my stuff was returned. The TV came back cracked, a few tools were gone, small price to pay for freedom. And then, cherry on top, Hunter's lawyer called yesterday wanting to negotiate a deal. So here's the grand finale, folks. Hunter, our resident genius and master of disaster, finally faced the music. Criminal charges? Check. Civil lawsuit for the stolen money? Check. Possible bankruptcy if he couldn't make restitute Victor? Triple check. Then his lawyer called with what I can only describe as the deal of the century. Victor, what if we drop the criminal charges? If Hunter gives up his entire partnership share, for $1? Me naturally had to sit down. Wait, a single dollar? Lawyer, yes. $1. Diego, of course, immediately piped in like he was hosting ESPN. Take it. Just take it. You get everything, and this idiot learns the most expensive lesson of his life. Also, watching him explain to people why he sold his share of a successful company for $1? Priceless entertainment for years. I called my lawyer for backup. He just nodded sagely. Hunter's criminal charges would stick, but getting him out of my business permanently for basically nothing? That's a win so huge it deserves its own parade. Meanwhile, Emma has been the quietest she's ever been since the evict Victor. Word is she moved back in with her parents, who are not thrilled about the pregnancy or her little legal escapades. Honestly, I don't blame them. Then came Hunter's final, desperate text. Hunter, Victor, please. I know I messed everything up. Just tell me what I need to do to fix it. Me, sign the papers. That was it. Short, sweet, devastating. Mike, my foreman and permanent audience for this chaos, gave me the debrief. Boss, since Hunter left, morale is through the roof. We're ahead of schedule on all projects, and 3 clients already referred new business because they like dealing with someone competent. Countdowns, for the record, are important. 48 hours until Hunter's partnership officially ends. Then I can finally close this chapter and rebuild my life. Diego is already planning a dollar party to celebrate. Yes, a dollar party. And here's the best part, sweet, sweet justice. Hunter literally gave up his 35% stake in the partnership for $1 last week. I have never been happier to make a business decision, Victor. Diego threw the dollar party as promised. He even framed the $1 bill Hunter's lawyer handed over and gave it to me as a trophy of stupidity. Now it hangs in my office, right above the blueprint for my revenge-themed home renovate Victor. Watching Hunter sign those papers? Pure comedy. He looked 10 years older. His lawyer kept trying to negotiate better terms, but I just smiled and pointed to Hunter's pending criminal charges and the $31,000 he owed in restitute Victor. Simple. Sign for $1 or face reality. Diego, standing by like a wisecracking Greek chorus, leaned over and whispered, "Congrats, man. You just set the record for the most expensive affair in Colorado history. That fling cost about $200,000 and a successful business. Hope it was worth it." Hunter did not find it funny. The rest of us were dying. Meanwhile, Emma's world collapsed like a cheap IKEA bookshelf. Turns out her parents hired a private investigator after I showed them proof of theft and the fake police reports. They wanted to know exactly how deep the lies went before deciding if they'd keep supporting her financially. The PI uncovered that Emma had been lying about basically everything for months. She wasn't just cheating with Hunter, she was seeing at least 2 other men, including a wealthy client she met at real estate showings. And the pregnancy timeline? Doesn't even match Hunter's story. According to her medical records, she got pregnant before Hunter and I even signed our partnership agreement. So yes, she had been lying about who the father was. Her parents called me personally to apologize and told me they were cutting her off financially. Dad even said, "We raised her better than this, but we cannot continue enabling her behavior." Bonus: they made her return the $22,000 engagement ring. I got it back and sold it immediately, new equipment for the business funded by Karma. Hunter is now persona non grata in the Construct Victor world. He tried starting his own company, but word travels fast. He applied for jobs at 3 of our competitors. Guess who they called for references? Me. I simply sent them the police reports and the partnership dissolute Victor agreement showing he sold his share for $1. Suffice it to say, Hunter's Construct Victor career in Colorado is officially over. Meanwhile, business for me? Booming. No drama, no constant financial blackmail, no rogue partners. 2 large commercial contracts worth $3.2 million Victor. 3 new employees. Booked through next year. Revenue Project Victor's show I'll earn $400,000 more this year than I ever did with Hunter dragging me down. The craziest part? People actually prefer dealing with someone competent. Who knew? Someone who knows what they're talking about and doesn't promise impossible deadlines. So, last week, Emma tried one last desperate attempt to contact me. She sent this long, heartfelt message about how she'd learned from her mistakes and wanted to make things right between us. Naturally, I replied, "Me, new phone? Who is this?" Diego, sitting next to me and clearly enjoying my misery-turned-entertainment, nearly fell out of his chair laughing. "Dude, you should trademark that line. It's gold." Meanwhile, I got some more updates from mutual friends. Apparently, Emma's real estate license got suspended pending an ethics investigate Victor. Yep, she had apparently been using client informant Victor to hunt for married men to have affairs with. And as expected, the wealthy guy she was seeing filed a complaint after his wife discovered everything. So let's recap. Emma, unemployed, pregnant with a child whose father could be anyone from a random stranger to a Netflix character, facing criminal charges and completely cut off by her family. Hunter, about as fortunate, jobless, companyless, with a criminal record and roughly $55,000 in debt between legal fees and restituted Victor payments. Meanwhile me? I just bought a new truck, made an offer on a bigger house with an actual workshop, and am planning a Hawaii vacate Victor next month. Diego has been keeping a running documentary of this whole saga and keeps pitching the perfect book title, How 2 Idiots Accidentally Made Me Rich and Successful. The best part? Neither of them learned a damn thing. They both still try to play the victim. They act like I overreacted to their catastrophic mistakes. Hunter even had the audacity to ask if I'd write him a letter of recommended Victor for potential employers. I replied, "Me, sure, I'd be happy to write an honest assessment of your character and work ethic." He never meant Victor did again. Honestly, probably for the best. 6 months ago, I thought my life had completely imploded. Now, I realized that Hunter and Emma did me the biggest favor possible. Imagine marrying that disaster, or worse, letting Hunter have even more control over the business. Sometimes the worst thing in your life turns out to be the best thing for your future. But oh, the story doesn't end there, because last month both Hunter and Emma somehow managed to hit rock bottom and crawl back like zombies with what I can only describe as the most pathetic business proposal in human history. Hunter got out of jail 2 months ago and, shockingly, could not find a job anywhere in Colorado. Criminal record plus the infamous partnership saga? Apparently, that makes you unemployable in Construct Victor. He eventually had to move in with his elderly grandmother in Nebraska because not even his own parents wanted him around. Emma's Situate Victor? Oh boy. That wealthy man's wife sued her in court, won a $55,000 judgment for Emma Victoral distress and alienate Victor of effect Victor, and then Emma declared bankruptcy. But, surprise, the judgment survives bankruptcy, so she'll be paying that debt for the next 20 years. Meanwhile, her parents finally kicked her out after she refused to get a job and kept bringing random men home to be a father figure for the baby. Social services even got involved after neighbors reported she was leaving the kid alone to hit bars. And then I got the call from my lawyer. Apparently, these 2 clowns had hired him to approach me with what they called a business proposal. Lawyer, me internally rolling my eyes, I cannot wait to hear this disaster in person. They wanted to offer their services to help me expand into Nebraska and Wyoming markets. Hunter would handle contacts, Emma would manage client relat Victor's and marketing. In return, they wanted me to pay off Emma's legal debts, give Hunter a company truck, and split all profits 50-50 in the new markets. Me thinking, oh, this is going to be rich. Literally. Of course, I told my lawyer to set up a meeting, not because I was interested but purely to witness the depths of their desperate Victor firsthand. Diego insisted on coming along as my business consultant, practicing his serious business face for a full hour before we even left. Then they arrived, looking like they'd been living rough for months. So they finally showed up and man, the picture was sad enough to make a sad movie look cheerful. Hunter had probably lost about 30 pounds and looked like he hadn't had a decent haircut since the Obama-administered Victor. His suit looked like it had been in a dumpster for 3 months. Emma, meanwhile, was rocking ill-fitting clothes, hair doing that desperate please rescue me thing, and eyes wide with that hungry lost look only truly broken people can master. I mean, you could almost hear her internal monologue screaming, I am regret. I am consequences. I am bad Desis Victors. And then came their big pitch. Hunter, looking as serious as a guy who just realized he's bankrupt and unemployed, started. Hunter, Victor, I know we've had our differences, but I've really learned a lot about business development during my time away. The Nebraska market is wide open for quality contractors and Me, interrupting, whispering to Diego, Diego, brace yourself. This is going to be painful. Hunter continued, oblivious. And Emma and I have really grown as people. Being a single mother taught me responsibility, and I'm ready to be a true profes victoral. Diego was trying so hard to keep a straight face. He started coughing violently, pretending it was a choking fit, but we both knew he was dying laughing. I let them continue their 20-minute masterpiece of De Lus Victor, which they cleverly disguised as a business opportunity. Finally, I had had enough. I leaned back in my chair, looked at them with all the gravitas I could muster and asked. Me, so, let me get this straight. You want me to pay off Emma's debts, give Hunter a company truck, and split profits with 2 people who, stole from me, B, lied about me, and C, tried to destroy my business. Emma, ever the optimist. Hunter, we know we made mistakes, but this could be a new beginning for all of us. A chance to put the past behind us and build something together. I raised an eyebrow. Emma, please. I have a daughter to think about. She needs stability. And I hate to break it to you, but what you need isn't a job or money. It's a personality transplant and an ethics manual. Then I dropped the line Diego and I had been rehearsing for days. Me, you know what? I'm going to help you both. Their faces lit up. Little glimmers of hope, like when someone finds out the vending machine actually gives out a second Snickers bar for free. Me, smirking, I'm going to help you learn the most important lesson of your lives. Act Victors have consequences. You burned every bridge, destroyed every relat Victorship, and lost every opportunity because of your own Desis Victors. The help you need is not a job, not money, it's learning to live with the results. Hunter. Hunter, confused. What does that mean exactly? Me, get the hell out of my office and never contact me again. You made your choices. Now live with them forever. Diego added, barely containing laughter. And maybe next time, do not eat where you poop. Both of them left in tears. 2 grown adults, crying because they finally understood that their act Victors had permanent consequences they could not undo. I felt bad for, 30 seconds. Then I remembered literally everything they had put me through and went back to feeling fantastic about my life. 3 days later, Emma tried one more desperate message. Please reconsider. I'm about to lose custody of my daughter. Me, you should have thought of that before you decided to be a lying, manipulative criminal. Not my problem. Hunter chimed in, I'll be homeless soon. My grandmother cannot support me anymore. Me, good. Maybe sleeping on the street will teach you not to steal from the people who help you. Meanwhile, my business was skyrocketing. I just signed a $4.20 mil Victor contract to renovate a casino in Nevada, opened a second office and hired 12 new employees. Hunter's grandmother apparently left him out of her will, even she was disgusted with him. Emma lost custody of her daughter to her own parents and now faces added victoral fraud charges for trying to collect social benefits while hiding assets. They thought they were clever. They thought they could have it all. Sleep with my fiancée, steal my money, ruin my business, and then crawl back for forgiveness when it all blew up. Instead, they taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. Sometimes the best thing people can do for you is show you exactly who they are so you can cut them out of your life forever. I'm 31 now, completely debt-free, my business is booming, and I'm dating an amazing woman who is literally nothing like Emma. Life is incredible. Hunter and Emma? They can solve their own problems. They made their choices. Now they have to live in the world those choices created. Sometimes the universe has perfect timing. Sometimes justice is a front row seat to people destroying themselves while you build an empire on the ashes of their stupidity. Game over. Love this story? Like, share, and subscribe for more epic audio adventures. Stay curious and keep listening.